Hey guys, so today I'm gonna show you this another very famous North Indian main course, that is Mushroom Matar Masala. The combination of the green peas and the mushrooms works really well when it is cooked in luscious onion and tomato based gravy, and it's a great option for all the vegetarians and the mushroom lovers like me, and it works really well when you enjoy with some jeera rice or garlic naan on the side. It's making my mouth water just thinking of it. So yeah, without further ado, let's get started. To prepare this extremely delicious gravy, here I have taken around 300 grams of mushrooms, which I have nicely wiped with a damp cloth to remove all the dirt. And then I'm going to cut this into pieces. So I've cut already a few of them. I'll just show you. I'm going to cut these into little bigger chunks, but if you want, you can make thinner or bigger slices, however you like. And we'll be putting directly into the gravy, as it doesn't take much time to cook and it easily absorbs all the flavors this way. But if you prefer, you can saute these mushrooms in just a teaspoon of butter or oil also, just for a while before adding to the gravy. But I personally like to put the raw mushrooms directly, as it cooks really fast and absorbs all the flavors. Next up, in a pan, add a tablespoon of oil, and to this I am going to add in a tablespoon of coriander seeds, along with a piece of cinnamon, 4 to 5 cloves, and saute it just for a while or until they are fried well and slightly golden brown. Next, I am going to add 4 to 5 tablespoons of cashews. So here I am using some broken cashews which I already had, and again saute it so that it slightly changes its color. These cashews will help in giving nice richness and thickness to the gravy. Now I'm going to add 2 to 3 dry Kashmiri red chillies. This will help in giving beautiful color to the dish. And for the spice, I'm using a few green chilies. So you can use more or less as per your preference. Saute everything really well. And next goes a piece of ginger and about 6 to 8 garlic pods. Stir fry these as well for a while until the rawness goes away. After about 2 minutes, I am going to add 2 onions. So here I am using 2 onions which I have cut roughly or in bigger chunks, as it is we are going to puree this in the blender. Let it cook, stirring often until it becomes slightly golden brown in color, but we don't want to turn it very dark also. So keep checking the onions in between. And after about 3 to 4 minutes, you can see these onions have slightly changed its color. It's slightly golden brown edges, but it's not very dark also. Next, I am going to add the tomatoes. So here I have used 4 tomatoes, again which I have chopped roughly. And along with the tomatoes, I am also adding some salt so that it cooks faster. Stir everything really well and let it cook on high flame for about 2 to 3 minutes. After cooking it for about 2 to 3 minutes on high flame, I am going to add 2 cups of water. Mix it well, let it come to a good boil, and then what I am going to do, I am going to cover it with a lid and let it cook further for another 6 to 8 minutes on low to medium flame, or until the tomatoes are cooked through and mushy. So this way everything will become nice and soft. So here I am using this pan or kadai today, but if you want to cook faster, you can also use a pressure cooker for this. Simply follow the same procedure and just give 3 to 4 whistles and switch off the flame. It's been 8 to 9 minutes. Let's remove the lid and check. You can see they are nicely cooked and tender. I'll just show you the onions and tomatoes and the cashews which we had used. They are nice and soft. They are soft enough that we can transfer them into the blender. So we want that soft. So switch off the flame and let it cool down a bit before putting into the blender. So it's cooled enough. I'm going to transfer this into the mixer or the blender. So here I've got enough mixture, so I'm going to blend this in 2 batches and puree it completely to make it smooth. You can see the texture. This is nice and smooth texture of the base gravy. So this base gravy is ready. So this is the very common base gravy which you can use for any kind of vegetables. So you can simply store this in the fridge also in any airtight container. It stays good for almost 2 days, and then you can use for any kind of gravies, chicken, vegetables, mixed vegetable. It works really well for all kind of vegetarian and non-vegetarian dishes as a base. So this is ready, we'll keep this aside for now. Next up, in the same used pan, we'll add some more oil. And to this I'm going to add in half a teaspoon of cumin seeds first. And when they start to sizzle, add a bay leaf followed by all the dry spices. So I'm going to add all the dry spices here. So for this I'm going to lower the flame first, otherwise they will burn. And then goes in a teaspoon of Kashmiri red chilli powder for a good color. 1 teaspoon I'm using coriander powder, pinch of turmeric powder, and half a teaspoon of cumin powder. Saute everything really well just for a while, taking care not to burn it, and then immediately pour in the prepared gravy. And saute this gravy just for about 3 to 4 minutes. You can add some salt here and adjust accordingly. Cook this masala for some time or until all the masalas are well combined with the base and starts to leave some oil from the sides. You can also add some water here to adjust the consistency. So I'm adding the water from the blender itself and adding to the gravy. So I've cooked this for almost 4 to 5 minutes, and now what you have to do, turn the flame to low because now we are going to stir in the yogurt. So here I've got about 2 to 3 tablespoons of beaten yogurt which I'm going to add it to the gravy. Make sure you lower the flame before adding the dahi or the yogurt, otherwise it will split apart in the gravy. And then continue sauteing it for another 1 more minute. Next I'm going to put 1 teaspoon of roasted fenugreek leaves which I'm going to crush nicely with the help of my hands. This will help in giving nice flavor and aroma to this dish, especially when you are making restaurant style. So I always like to put this in few of my gravies when I'm making restaurant style. It really gives nice flavor. Mix it really well. And now comes the chance of putting all the vegetables we are using. So I'm going to add in the mushrooms, along with a cup of frozen peas. So here I'm using the frozen peas, that's the reason I'm putting it along with the mushrooms. But in case if you're using the fresh peas, you have to put the peas first, cook it for about 3 to 4 minutes and then add the mushrooms, because the mushroom cooks little faster as compared to the fresh peas. But as I'm using the frozen peas today, I'm putting the frozen peas and the mushroom together because the cooking time is almost the same. Now stir everything really well until they are well coated with the gravy. You can check for salt here, so adjust the salt here as we have added the mushrooms and the peas, and you can also add little water to adjust the gravy. Let it cook for about 2 minutes, and now I'm going to cover it with the lid and let it cook on low to medium flame for about 5 to 6 minutes or until the mushrooms and peas are nicely cooked through. Let's remove the lid and check. I'll just show you, the mushrooms are nicely cooked and the peas are also softened. I suggest you guys not to overcook the mushrooms, otherwise they'll become slightly hard and rubbery. But if you like your mushrooms to be slightly more soft, like if you want to overcook them, you can just cook it for 1 more minute, not more than that. This gravy is also nicely thickened, the mushrooms and peas are all cooked. Now we'll add in some garam masala. This is half a teaspoon of garam masala. And I'm also adding just a tablespoon of fresh cream. This is optional, but it helps in giving nice richness and creaminess to the gravy if you are making for special occasions. So I've added just a tablespoon of it. And then I'm going to put some fresh coriander and mix well. Let it cook for another 2 to 3 more minutes. And you can see this thick, creamy and luscious mushroom matar masala is ready. It's ready to be served hot with some coriander on top. You can serve it with some naan, roti or jeera rice on the side. So I hope you enjoyed watching this easy peasy recipe. If yes, like, share and subscribe to Kanak's Kitchen for more such amazing recipes. I'll see you soon in my next video. Bye bye.